How are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. This morning, coming down to the beautiful Cambois. Very foggy morning. Conditions look perfect. I can't wait to get started. I'm quite excited today. Quite a few holes on the beach. I'm going to give you a quick turn around and show you. There's a hole there. And there's a hole over there. I think I'm going to opt for this one. I'll tell you, I can't wait. It's exciting times. Let's get into it. Well, chums, on the beach. Surf looks cracking. The only thing I'm concerned about is the amount of weed on the high tide line here. Time will tell. Let's see if we get weed or not. I've only put one rod for now. I'm just busy setting the second one up. So I'll set this up as we speak. So it's quite a big tide today. It was a 5 metre high. It's going down to, I think it's a 1.1, 1.2, but I'll put it up in the top like I always do for you. It's quite early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning at the moment, so I'm here at a different time to what I would usually start. Because what happens is I generally come down an hour before bottom and I end up getting fish straight away. So today I'm going to try fishing a little bit further down. So I'm here at kind of half tide and we're going to fish it down. There's a lovely hole in front of us. I've fished this spot before and I did well out this hole, but tides are different, times are different. There's a nice hole further up like there always is next to the pipe. But we're going to stick here for now. Quite looking forward to it. Actually, I'm hoping, fingers crossing, that we don't pull loads of weed in, because I'm really up for the session today, you know. I don't really mind if we're, well, I do, but if we don't catch anything, that's just the way it is. You know, my philosophy on this channel. But it would be nice. I'm still hunting for, sorry, I'm just looking for some leads. I'm putting, where is it? I'm putting breakaways out at the minute, just to see how it seems to be holding fine, but I'll probably change over to rolling leads if I can get away with it. So where was I? Sorry. So I'm hoping that we don't pick up loads of weeds, but when I get this first one in, I'll have a good idea of what's going on. The seas have been up for some time. This is the first break that I've had in the weather window, that is, to get onto the beach. It was just too much. It was way too heavy. So based it for today, usual, I've got ragworm, lots of it, and mackerel. Simple stuff. Just out for a nice leisurely session. Hopefully get some fish, but I'm out to enjoy myself. It's a lovely day. There's not a breath of wind at the moment, although it was forecast to go up to 25 mile an hour east southeasterlies. That could still happen. Wind could whip up when the tide turns. Low tide's around 11. But we'll get this first one in soon. There's a lovely surfer and it's perfect conditions. And the sea's really dug this beach up. You can see there's loads of holes. Loads of little holes on the beach, so there must be loads of food around. So fingers crossed. But we'll get this first one in a moment and see what the state of play is. If it is weeded up, I'm going to move north up the beach to the other hole because there's no weed up there. All the weed seems to be in this area that I'm actually fishing now. So we'll see. We'll give it a good go though, as always. Oh dear. Well, the left-hand rod's definitely picked up weed. You'll be able to see it. The right-hand one I popped in the hole doesn't seem so bad, so I may have to keep it that way. But this one, it's picked up a nice bit of weed. I can see it down there. Try and turn you a little bit. Yeah, quite a bit of weed down there on that one. It's been in there. That's not good. Don't really want to leave that. This one's slack. Something's gone on with this one. I don't want to. I'm going to have to get this left-hand one in first because that's shocking. It's going to have the rod over that. Yeah. Grip leads are digging in as well, like. Right, so I'm going to have to put them both in the hole because there's lots of weed in the surf. There's a lot there. Did expect it, to be fair. Go down and sort this out. I've got a slack line on the other one. Hopefully it's a fish. Doesn't take much weed to bend these soft tips round though. Right, so I'm going to try and keep my casts down towards the south, because there's some heavy weed in that surf. Shouldn't cause too much of a problem at low tide, like, but we'll give that a moment. It's always a chance you take. There's always a chance that it was going to be weeded up. Just got to take the rough with the smooth, as I always say. Play the hand that Mother Nature deals you. The sun's been out a little while longer. Hopefully no weed, please. We don't want weed on this one. We don't want any weed on this one. Did get a little bit of a slack line there, but there's a little bit of weed on there. Alright, just going to have to fish through this. To fish through it and see what happens. Nothing else I can do really. And the grip lead's picking up a lot of weed as well. Hook's up there. Well, the bottom hook is anyway. I think what I'm going to do is put a plain lead on and just see if I can roll it around a bit. Right, I'll get this sorted out. Well, it blanks off. it's not off in a spectacular fashion, I will warn you, but it's off. Little flounder. I'm so thankful to see him. I'm battling with weed here, and it's not easy, but we're off the mark, so let's see if we can get some more. Right, drop the plain lead on this one. I may be crazy. I'm going to experiment, see if I can avoid the weed. Could just be because I'm pinning the bait down. I always try not to let too much slack out when it's weedy, because you're just going to pick it up. Got a feeling we're going to have a battle on my hands. There's a lot of weed in the surf line. I just waded out of it to cast. There's a blankets of weed. I may have to have a move. It seems to be localised to this spot, the weed on the beach, so I might move further to closer to the pipe as the tide drops, but we'll see. I didn't get time to say, so I'm using my normal rigs today. One up, one down. I've got 60-pound bodies, and I've gone up to 25-pound on the snooze because of the rough conditions, because the snooze tend to get wrapped and rolled in the surf. Baits I've already went through with you. Today I've got the Achios Curie and my Graphex LD out, the Century. This is probably about the 6th or 8th session with the Curie now, and I've kind of formulated what I think of it, and I have to say, for me, it's an absolutely cracking rod. It suits the purpose of my style of fishing, if you like, absolutely perfectly. It's got a beautiful tip. It's very light, very slim blank, really well made. As usual with Achios, the whipping's under-whipped and over-whipped. And for a rod in its price range, that's pretty rare, to be quite honest with you, because you're normally paying for the whipping and everything, you know, on the high-end rods. I've used Achios for 2 years now, and I love the stuff. It's not something I've just picked up on a whim and went, oh, it's the best thing in the world. I've used this stuff and I've tested it. My air lights have been through the mill, never let us down, and this Curie is now the next best thing. It's kind of the air lights, and then I would put the Curie in the next bracket. Obviously Achios do more rods in the range that are a bit stiffer after that, but I've had quite a few. I've had the Air Power, the Air Tour, I've had a load of them, but this one, I really like this Curie. Matched up with me Shimano 5.5s, absolutely brilliant little combo for the beach, this type of fishing. Even heavier, I would say. I have seen a lad on YouTube using the Curie and catching decent sized codling on it off the beach. Handled it no problem. I've got the soft tip in today. There's 2 tips that come with it. There's the stiffer tip, the power tip as they call it, and this softer tip. Now, strangely, I prefer this softer tip. It bends round nicely. It's got a lovely little J curve. The power tip is more kind of C curve, which I find anyway. I could be wrong. I'm not technical when it comes to things like that, but this has got a beautiful tip. But yeah, I'm enjoying using it. All we need now is some big lunking fish to bend it. Still a fair bit of weed on the beach. You can see it coming up all over down there. We should be okay at low tide until it floods again, so it's funny with the weed, it's going to get picked up and dropped, picked up and dropped. There's a lot on the high tide line, but there's also some developing down here as well. Past couple of casts haven't been too bad, so I'm not really worried. But I'm going to get this one in and see what's going on. But I may have a move. We'll see. We'll get this one in, see how bad the weed is. Yeah, that weed's pretty bad. Considering this is a plain lead. Oh dear. Right, I'm going to go down and meet this lump of weed because it was always going to happen. Always got a chance of getting loads of weed after these seas. It's just a chance you take. Part and parcel of fishing with chums. No point in moaning about it. I'm here now. I'll fish the best of my ability. See if we can get anything. There's not an awful lot of weed. It just feels a lot with the soft tip. Got flounder as well underneath there, that's why. Hiding away. Oh, we've got two. Oh, we've got a turbot. Right. So we're getting weed, but the fish are still there. Got a double shot here. Got a hybrid flounder, which is a first for me. And we've got a little turbot. I'm just going to get it cleaned up so you can have a look properly. That's on the rolling lead, the searching lead. So we've got our first turbot of the day. That's probably going to be my best catch because I love them. That's fantastic. Actually, it's my first turbot off Cambois Beach. And we've got this flounder, look. Now look at him. There's one side. Oh, and there's the other. Tiny bit of white. Almost a double-sided flounder. It's a lively little bugger. Almost double-sided. But yeah, that's great. Little nice little double shot to start. Let's get them unhooked. There we go. So strange, even the little turbot's slightly hybrid, can you see that? Not had that before either. But this one, little belter. Oh, trying to handle them both. But anyway, there we go. First little double shot, let's get them back. Just need that turbot to be about 10 times that size and I'll be over the moon. Although I am happy, if you watch the channel enough, turbot is my favourite fish of all time. So I'm really chuffed to catch that. Let's see if we can get some more out. Well, apart from the weed, it's a canny start. Quite happy. I've had my little turbot. If I go home with nothing now, I don't care. That's me happy. Woohoo! Love them. Love them. And, I mean, I'm in my happy place, as you know. On the beach. I'm alive! Yeah, it's great, man. Oh, that was the surf there, wasn't it? It's caught out of the corner of my eye. I know that there has been a little bass caught further down the beach. I've just been talking to a guy, that angler who walked past. Nothing big like, but it was there. It was the mark that I was going to go to as well this morning, but I seen there was people on, so I came up here. But I do like this little spot. It's nice. It's a good little mark. You can see the sand, the waves breaking over the sandbar at the back there. The fish are quite close in, actually they're in the surf, but I would imagine there's plenty of food for them, so they'll either be overfed or starving, because there's loads of food in the water. The gulls are feeding off the top there on the weed. But yeah, happy days. Lovely to be out. There's loads of dog walkers, but I haven't been troubled, which is really good. There's not a breath of wind. Couldn't have been any better. And I'm at the start of 9 days off work, so there'll be loads of fishing coming, because I've got a few places I want to go. But yeah, let's see if we can get more, eh? Well, been a long time coming. Oh, hang on, son. It's been a long time coming, but we've got one. Another half hybrid. Much better flounder, that one though. Stand back a bit so you can see it. I'm going to get it unhooked because I don't like dangling like this. I'll get it unhooked and measured, and I'll bring you back. There he is. Slight mottling on the bottom. Bit of a hybrid there. 37. Good sized fish. Little bit lean, but a cracking sized fish. Unhooked no problem using the method that I've shown you on the videos. We're going to get him straight back. So that's the bait that seems to be doing the damage, the ragworm razor, fresh razor off the beach this morning actually. What a gentleman kindly gave us. So I'm going to get these back out. It's going straight back out. Bait's absolutely perfect. It's the good thing about razor, it's such a hardy bait. All you have to do is basically put some fresh scent on it, i.e. little bit of mackerel or some more ragworm on, and you're good. A little bit of a thump, that one. The other one's in close in, so I'm covering bases. What a cracking day. I'm loving it. A little bit of action. Great weather. Peace. Absolutely fantabulous. There's another little beauty. That razor and the ragworm that I put on did the trick. Look at that one. I didn't measure it actually. 32. Very respectable, especially on their slack tide. Lovely little fish. Nice. Let's get him back. Had to move on to the sandbar. Nice bit of depth in front of us there. So I'm going to fish this down a little bit, see what happens. There's a lot of weed back there. I've had to move from where I was. The hole's still there. It's not very deep now. It's probably about knee deep. What a belting day though. It's absolutely glorious. Perfect conditions. I mean, overcast, lovely surf on. Probably chance of a bass if you're lucky. I mean, probably could do with a little bit, you know, probably turn up earlier in the morning in darkness, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I know there's been one caught today further down. It wouldn't surprise us. Getting pulled quite a lot on that one. But the other good thing about coming down to the beach on these big tides, it's a 5 metre one or something like that, I think, but the lows, actually the lows only are 1.1, but it's still coming down on the beach is good at low water because you can see the features. If you've never been to the beach before, you can get yourself out on a big tide. Have a look at the features. I mean, beaches do shift, sand shifts, so they're not always going to be the same, but there's always like marks that are pretty prolific, and you just need to get down and have a look and see what you think, you know. I mean, even this sandbar I'm standing on now, the gutter that's running behind it there at high tide, that'll be a holding point for the fish. They'll come in round the back of the spit there, they'll come down here into these gutters and they'll feed all along here. So basically, if you gauge it distance wise, you can kind of know where it is and take a marker off the land, which is what I sometimes do. But yeah, it's a cracking day. As I say, even if we get nothing now, I'm not really bothered because I've got my turbot out, so it's not the size I'm looking for. This year I do have a target. I want to try and beat the turbot from last year, which is going to be a tough one. It's not an easy task, but fishing is never easy, you know. I mean, sometimes you can be lucky, but if you're targeting things, it's not easy. But I'm going to persevere with that this year and try and get that turbot. Believe me, still a chance of getting that 40 plus flounder. It's dwindling away because we're in mid-February now and they're going to move off to deeper water to spawn, and then when they come back in the summer they'll be spent. They'll still be large, long fish, but they'll not be beefy, you know. I think that rod's been, I think I've been pulled right in the side of that one. I'm going to get this checked, but we shall continue to carry on as we always do. I think our weed's still a bit of an issue. It's pushed us to put the kettle on. You know it's quiet when the kettle's on. That's what I say, because it's not even cold today. I'm not having bovril today. For a change, I'm going to have some coffee. Keep myself wide awake. Yeah, it's still pretty quiet. But it's a cracking day. I keep saying it. It's beautiful, you know. It's just right for fishing anyway. Nice bit of cloud cover, bit of mist. Nice bit of surf on. I think the sea's forecast to get up again in next week, but I'm off all next week, so I'm wanting to get some fishing done. Oh, nearly there, chums. Ooh, come on. Yo, beauty! Oh. Cheers, me chums. About as strong as it gets these days, cup of coffee. Most welcome though. It's a cracking day to be out though. I'd much rather be doing this than lying in bed or sitting slouching on the sofa or whatever. But I'd like to take the opportunity to thank you all for your constant support. It's been fantastic actually, and every one of you that's bought me a coffee, I'm not going to say your name because I don't want to embarrass you or anything, because I know some people don't like it, but it's very much appreciated. I genuinely mean that. Goes straight back into the channel, gets us out doing stuff like this, because believe it or not, the filming and the whole thing of YouTube as a fisherman isn't that easy. You've got a lot of stuff to set up before you can get started, and it kind of goes into your fishing a little bit, takes your time away from the rods, but we still do all right, don't we? We don't do bad, and I love having you along with this. It's fantastic. But as always though, if you do fancy buying us a coffee and supporting the channel, I'll put the little QR code on the screen for you. Don't feel obliged. As I say, everything's welcome, but I'm not going to moan about it if you don't send anything, because I can fund myself, to be honest, but it is nice. It is nice to show support. The hoodie, I've got the hoodies ordered. Only had a couple of people ordering the hoodies, but they are ordered, and the two gentlemen who ordered them, they should be with you by the time this video's out. You'll probably have them actually. But yeah, it's nice. I love the comments and the subscriptions. You've been very kind, because it's just a little channel. It's nothing, I don't do anything spectacular. I'm not the greatest fisherman in the world, but I like to get out and do my thing, and the fact that you want to come along and watch that means a lot to me. Quite surprised actually, but it's very nice, so thank you very much. So see what time we've got. It's an hour before bottom now, so should I'll get the fish on here for about an hour and a quarter, and then move back. On the flood, there's I think on the flood I might move back to where I was, depending on the weed, or I might go over to the burn on the other side of the pipe. But either way, it's been great to be out, you know. I've only been out a few hours now, so it's canny, it's nice. Couldn't ask for a better day, really. Today, I will mainly be fueled by Snickers. There are other chocolate confectionery items available. It's a bit of a shame. Looks like I'm going to hazard a guess. I'm not sure, it looks like, I don't know. I thought it was a bass at first, but looking at the flesh, it looks salmony. So it's either, I don't know, it's a big sea trout or a salmon. It's kind of size though, just put my foot there. Aye, what do you reckon that is then? Drop it in the comments if you think you know. I think it's a salmon, but I don't know. We're on the flood now. Let's see what the flood brings her. Hopefully not weed. Don't want any weed. There's a lot of it banked up on the beach, so I think half tide, when it hits that mark where the weed is, then it'll start spreading along the beach. Hopefully. I haven't had that much trouble just here. I've moved again, by the way. I've moved another 50 yards as I do. Always a top tip. When you're on a beach like this, move around a little bit if you're not getting action. I'm seeing little pockets of dark water, so I'm moving and having a chuck into them. The first chuck into that pocket of dark water produced that last fish there on the razor and rag. So the proof's in the pudding. You know, you've got to move around the beach. Catching flounders isn't easy per se. It can be. It depends. Flounder are opportunists. They'll take anything really, but oh, the waves have come, nearly had the camera over. But if you're specifically targeting flatfish, you need to put all the odds in your favour. You need to get everything right. The rig needs to be right, your presentation-ish, but the area that you're dropping the bait in is important. Sometimes you'll hit lucky. You'll go on a beach and you'll chuck, and you'll, unbeknownst to you, or unbeknownst to the novice, they won't know that they're actually dropping into a little hole, you know. But again, playing leads, rolling leads, let it roll around to find the fish. Don't be static if you can get away with it, because if you're static fish, you're counting on the fish coming to your baits. I find personally, in my opinion only, I like my baits to be moving around, especially for flatfish anyway. You'd be pinning it down if it was for cod in a big sea, because you wouldn't have a choice. Let's eat suits a tower. Let's get this one in. Plenty washed up on the beach. Crabs, fish. Not a bad sized crab either, that one. Still alive as well. That one's past it though. Velvet swimmer, I think. And a fish. Plenty on the beach. He survived, like. Good luck to you, mate. Starting to drizzle a bit now. It seems to be the day of the hybrid flounders. I'm getting a lot of kind of hybrid fish. Very welcome all the same. Flood's bringing them on. They're still there. It's drizzling a bit now, like, but still nice. I moved again further north up the beach. I'm sweating. I've had to go through this gully. Walk through this gully in front of us about 4 times. It's hard work. It's quite deep. I mean, it's coming in really fast now. The only problem I've got is I'm going to struggle where I am here. I did want to be where I started off, but some people have taken that. So I'm stuck at the top of the beach. Very shallow. The feature, this hole in front of us, excuse me, isn't going to be, there's not going to be any fish in there till at least another hour when it pushes back a bit more. So I'm having to wade out onto the sandbar, which is just out there. I don't know if you can see it running along here, to cast. And it's a good 2-3 foot deep now, pretty much. It's hard work wading through it. I'm exhausted. So I'll give it a little bit longer, not much more, because I've done all right. I've had a good day. I've enjoyed myself. I don't like to push it. I don't get greedy. I've had some fish. I'm quite happy. Rods have bent. Had some lovely fish to look at. Don't really ask for any more. It's pushing in quite hard as well. But we'll give it a little bit longer, then I'll come back to you before we decide to call it, okay? Tide's beezing in now. It's coming in really fast. It's picking the weed up again as well. It's getting a bit weedy. I've put one out over the sandbar. I can't keep going through the gully now. It's getting too deep. So what I've done is I've popped a cheeky little one in the gully that's just filled up here to me right. It's about 2-3 foot deep, but the fish normally come in and feed it, so I thought I'll pop one in there. Let's see what happens. There's nothing else happening. It's quiet. Normally, I keep looking at me watch, but it's gone flat. Normally at this time, about 2 hours after bottom water, normally I'm gone by now. I only ever normally fish 2 hours up, so we'll be giving it another couple of chucks and we'll be off, I think. Well, me chums, you know how I was just telling you about how the fish come into the gullies? The gully I was wading across, as I said just before, I just dropped a bait in there, about 10 yards. There you go. That's the gully that I've been walking across, and the fish are in there. They've come in, like I said, they come round and they come into that hole and they're feeding in there. Happy days. I love it when a plan comes together. We're going the wrong way. We need them bigger, not smaller. Do you know what I mean? I seen the rattle on off that one, even in that surf. Let's give a canny good bite. Actually, I thought it was a good fish. Get one hooked. So he's doing its best to tie knots again. I'm sorry, I'm on the mic on the GoPro because my mics have run out. Still fish there. Still getting knocks. Had a few fish, haven't put them all on camera. Some of them weren't that big. Not that it matters. But cracking day. We're giving it a little bit longer. I'm at that last cast stage, you know, when you keep saying one last cast, but you have more. that's the stage I'm at now. That's pretty much untouched. That's, ow, stabbed myself. Them hooks are sharp. They're going back out. There's a little bit of scent left now. I'm just going to squeeze back into the gutter. I'm literally just chucking these about coming on. Well, my rod bending chums, what a cracking little session we've had, Been really good. I've enjoyed myself today. These are definitely my last 2 casts out. I know I keep saying it, but I have to go. I do have to go. I'm hungry, I'm starving. Me Snickers did nothing, didn't even touch the sides. I'm looking forward to getting home, getting some food, and I think I might even have a little tipple, just a little dram, a little wee dram. It's been a great day. To summarise, best fish of the day for me, the turbot, without a doubt. I just love turbot, and I will be searching for those bigger ones, don't worry. But I do love turbot, so that was the highlight of the day, the lovely turbot. Second fish of the day, probably the flounder, what was it, 35, 36 or whatever. That was nice. And the hybrid flounder as well, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? But I've seen them before, but I've never had them here. But yeah, it's been a great day. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you've enjoyed coming along with us and enjoying the, enjoyed the fishing, the scenery. It's been fantastic. The weather's held really well. It's just been a great day. So thank you very much for your subscriptions, for your likes, comments as always. I genuinely appreciate them. Every single one is appreciated. So thank you very much. But until the next time, stay safe, stay well, keep fishing. Tight lines.